Thanks again, everyone, for helping support the stream, helping support me. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna do this quick. We have Marshkill at the bottom. We have Cine above him. Right next to Cine is 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿. Then we have Loser next to 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝙉𝙉𝘿, which is next to 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘉, which is then next to 𝙀𝙓𝙋. Just kind of crazy. Alright, so instantly built all of our workers. This is gonna be kind of chaotic. Loser instantly building some spines. I'm gonna stop saying instant because everything's instant. We have pylons going on. Marshkill opting for getting a cannon defense. And now we have 𝙀𝙀𝙓𝙋 spamming lings, while at the same time we have Cine, lings, and drones. 𝙀𝙓𝙋 GG's out already, getting cannon rushed by 𝙀𝙓𝙋. While at the same time 𝙀𝙓𝙋 is getting spine rushed by Loser. Ling on ling battle between 𝙀𝙀𝙓 and Cine. 𝙀𝙀𝙓 has got a lot more lings already though. While at the same time, Marshkill getting his cannon defense to keep the Zerg at bay as best he can. And 𝙀𝙀𝙓 did cannon rush 𝙀𝙀𝙓 as well. Now we have Loser versus 𝙀𝙀𝙓 instant build cannons versus queens and hydras and spines. Cine is overpowered and Pinoco's out. So now we have 𝙀𝙀𝙓 over here versus, with Marshkill as his neighbor. And then we have Loser versus 𝙀𝙀𝙓. The deciding factor between both sides. 𝙀𝙀𝙓 versus Loser or 𝙀𝙀𝙓 versus Marshkill. And 𝙀𝙀𝙓 is clearing out Cine's old base. 𝙀𝙀𝙓 space being cleared out by these cannons along with 𝙀𝙀𝙗's bases. 𝙀𝙀𝙓 is forced to retreat, while at the same time Cassidy is claiming 𝙀𝙀𝙓's old main, and 𝙀𝙀𝙓 is also claiming this base down here while Cassidy is built down here as well. Cassidy having a ninja base on both sides of the map. And now we have 𝙀𝙀𝙓 clearing out all these cannons with the infinite Zerglings versus infinite photon cannons. Marshkill really needs some shield batteries. If he gets some shield batteries to keep these cannons alive, that would be ideal. But here we go. 𝙀𝙀𝙓 is still only on one base, while Cassie's on four with a hive and lurkers available. 𝙀𝙀𝙓, though, making himself a bunch of zealots. And doing a zealot run by versus Cassie's hidden base. And Cassie and 𝙀𝙀𝙓 are both on 4 base, but Cassie's about to lose one of his bases. At the same time, 𝙀𝙀𝙓's losing his retreat base. A bunch of zealots come walking out though to help defend it. And this is kind of chaotic to cast in the first place. But we have a lot of lings on the way from 𝙀𝙀𝙓. And now here we go, the onslaught of lings versus cannons. Too many cannons to deal with for the Zerglings. It seems lots of cannons. Lots and lots and lots of cannons. And now lurkers and spines to help defend against the charge lots, but the charge lots are too great, it seems, for the lurkers. I don't know how that works, but it did. We have more lurkers on the way from Cassidy. And 𝙀𝙀𝙓 over here, he's taking all these bases, he's like crawling around the map, trying to find some safety from Cassidy's onslaught. We got lurkers and hydras though from Cassidy, and 𝙀𝙀𝙓 can't even do anything against these lurkers. He has no detection yet, except for this cannon. And well, the zealots all die. But here we go. We have more zealots that came out to help defend. And actually, the charge lot number just increased dramatically. And now we have a lot more lurkers now. Instant pylon cannon. Yeah, instant pylon cannon can be really strong. Well, here we go. We have a lot of lurkers coming on in. And the zealots do get cleaned up. We do have some observers now, but the zealots do get cleaned up. Now we have carriers here from Marshkill, and we have a lot of Banes from 𝙀𝙀𝙓 over here. Somehow, Banes are coming out of the Bane nest. I don't remember that being a thing, unless he was just making them. There we go. Ling Bane onslaught, the Ling Bane wave coming on in to sweep over all these cannons. And I'm not sure. It might be just enough to clear out the cannon wall. And 𝙀𝙀𝙓 does manage to clean this up very nicely. Marshkill can instantly rebuild this though if he were to. He does have some carriers, or at the same time lots of Void Rays now for Talden here, and there's a scouting Viper from Cassidy looking to see what's going on the other side of the map. Talden does have 5 bases though, and Cassidy, he's got to do something against Talden. Talden's getting too big, and Marshkill is actually a force to be reckoned with. We do have a lot of carries. Tiglath does GG out. Marshkill did take down Tiglath with the carrier count. The carrier count is very high, and well played. Carriers versus Void Rays versus Hydras and Vipers. I wonder who's gonna be the victor here. Carriers are coming in and cleaning out the last of Tiglath's base. And alright, we have Cassidy maintain the high ground. He wants to yoink. Oh wait, no, maybe he doesn't want to yoink. Maybe he wants to use Parasitic Bomb. That would be ideal in this situation. Excuse me. Now we have the carriers. Carrier Void Ray versus Mass Hydra Infester. And Cassie's actually getting cleaned up here because his units were too busy getting jumbled up on, while Talden lost the base to the carriers in the south. And yeah, Cassie does though have a nice gas bank, but so does Talden. They both have nice gas banks. The carriers are doing a pretty good job at cleaning up this base, and Cassie is actually losing his main, but it doesn't matter because he can rebuild all this tech very quickly here. The hive does go down, and Cassie is reteching, and he's got his hive right back up, and he's getting himself +1 air attack. But I'm not sure if Cassie, he really needs to get his units out. He hasn't produced any. There we go. He's producing all the corruptors, but at the same time, that's a lot of carriers. Holy moly, that is a lot of carriers. That is way too many carriers. Holy crap. Marshkello, though, he's doing the right thing. He's staying low. He doesn't want to draw too much attention to himself, because if he does, he's going to have to deal with both Cassidy and Talden as they're both killing each other. Talden's Void Rays are going to come in and clean up this base. Actually, no, they're not, because there's just a lot of corruptors here. A lot of corruptors and Vipers. Parasitic Bombs making nice connections to the Voids, but in come the carriers. And the corruptors, they need to focus down these carriers before they all die. And Talden's carriers are getting cleaned up here quite nicely. Talden is taking up the entire left side of the map, unfortunately, for Cassidy and for Marshkello. But Marshkello also has this nice little pocket at the bottom right. And the carriers are actually going to be forced to retreat from the corruptors. There's just too many corruptors here for the carriers at the moment. And yeah, Talden has to retreat, but he's going to reinforce actually with more carriers and more Void Rays. The Void Rays coming back in, and now they're not using Prismatic Alignment yet. Here we go. Prismatic Alignment is going to clean everything up, and all the Vipers and Corruptors are taken out. But like I said, Marshkello, he's doing the right thing. He's laying low, getting himself his upgrades, getting more units. But here we go. The Void Rays are now back up top, attacking Cassidy. Cassidy's stuck in his own little pocket now, forced to make mass mutas. That's a lot of mutas to go down, though. The Void Ray count is very high, and but with an endless swarm of mutas, the mutas should be able to take this on. But it is possible that the mutas are just not enough. The Void Ray's doing really well against this. The Void Rays and Carrier is doing really well, and Talden recalls out. I'm not sure why, but he did bring his stuff back home. And now we have a mass Phoenix army. Holy moly. That is a lot of Phoenixes. The mutas down over here. Gonna do a run by Cassidy. How he started off so strong is now the weakest link at the moment. We have 2 Skytoss armies versus a Sky Zerg army. And the mutas are actually, they made their way all the way, they made it past all the Phoenix and Carriers and Void Rays. But I don't know if it's gonna matter. The Corruptors are forced to fight Mass Phoenix, and soon they're going to be forced to fight Mass Void Ray and Carrier. But at the same time, we have a muta run by still down here, or flyby, taking down all the probes and the cannons. But Void Rays versus Hydras. The Hydras are stuck in a convex, whereas the Void Rays are in a concave. And now we have more Corruptors coming on in. I don't think Cassidy has enough money to keep up with his army production that he needs versus this army. There's just too many carriers, Void Rays and Phoenixes. Actually, there's only 2 carriers. Too many Void Rays and Phoenix for the Corruptors to deal with. I don't know if Cassidy can deal with it. And Marshmallow now establishing dominance on the right, bottom right corner of the map. Establishing... It actually looks like he kind of made like a little face here with the amount of the way that the structures are built. But Cassidy's main base, the last of his bases are being cleaned up, and Cassidy's now forced to retreat. But at the same time, excuse me, we have Void Rays versus carriers. All the drones are going to get cleaned up by Marshkillow's carriers. Cassidy's cornered between 2 Sky Toss armies, and there's just nothing he can do. I think Cassidy's out of this game. There's just too much. The Void Rays cleaned up all the larvae, and I don't know what Cassidy really has that he can do. We have carrier and carry action. Cassidy is down to his last structure. There's just a few Corruptors left for Cassidy. And now we have Talden versus Marshmallow. Now we have Corruptors coming on in and pissing all over the Nexus. While at the same time, we have carriers down here cleaning up Talden's stuff. Cassie's Corruptors doing the little bit of harassment that they have left. DT is cleaning up the last of Cassidy's structures. Cassidy is essentially dead, but Marshmallow, he has quite the army. We have mass DT from Talden. Now we have a bunch of warriors coming on in, instantly picking off the mothership. And now Marshkillow's army is actually very large. It's actually crazy huge. The Banes, you have to spawn them out of the nest. It was whacked. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Maybe the map must be weird or something. I don't know. I thought I picked the right one. Carriers coming on in. And Marshmallow is actually looking fairly scary with his army. We have a lot of Archons from Talden though. And I'm not sure. Cassidy actually rebuilt his base. He managed to sneak out a drone and survive. If you call this surviving though. Cassidy's, the last of his drones are actually going around. I guess he's going to try to find some ways to build. He's going to end up meeting... well, no. Cassidy just dies, unfortunately. And GG's out without GGing in game. And now we have Mass Archon over here killing cannons. And Marshmallow has to retreat to help defend. He does have another Mama ship. And now Talden is forced to retreat. We have ourselves a tug of war between Archons and Sky Toss. This time Talden's in the as the ground toss. And Marshmallow, he's slowly building himself up a bigger and bigger empire. This is truly like Age of Empires at this rate. Lots of cannons everywhere. He does not want to get DT'd anywhere. And here we go. Archon's making more connections on top of the photon cannons by Talden. But here comes the Sky Toss army in to try and sandwich Talden's his Archon army. And now we have actually an Archon. I don't really want to call it a pincer because it wasn't really a pincer, but it was something. And Talden did get taken down very quickly by the Sky Toss. The Sky Toss army just too dang good. But Talden, he could max out his own Sky Toss if he so chooses to. But we have more High Templar on the way. More Archons being morphed. Talden does not really want to be forced to make Sky Toss, it seems. He does not want to make those dirty carriers. But Marshmallow, he's going to push forward with his carrier count. He wants to take down Talden. He wants to win this. Marshmallow, he's going to claim another base for the Marshmallow Empire. And Archon's being recalled in to help try to support and support the space, but there's just so many photon cannons for the Archons to run into. There's just too much. And I don't know, Talden's, I don't know how I feel about this. There's just so much shit going on, so many cannons placed down on the ground. And 𝙀𝙋𝘼𝙉𝘿 seems to have figured out a nice little trick to help keep his 𝙀𝙓𝙋𝘼𝙉 army alive, and that's just to fill the ground with cannons so nobody can get under them. And now here we go, 𝙀𝙓𝙋 again versus Mass Archon. And the Interceptors, you would think that they'd get cleaned up, but instant build Interceptors is just too dang good. And the Archons are getting cleaned up.
Oh my god, I just realized why the strategy isn't working.
And
Interceptors have instant build time.
As you guys heard it, Talden finally figured it out. Took him wave after wave of sacrifice Archons and High Templars to figure it out, but he did it. But Interceptors, too dang good. So now we have carrier on carry action, but is it going to be in time? Now it's time for the lag fest to start, because we got Interceptors on Interceptors killing each other, instant building on top of each other, infinite scepters, that's right. Talden needs to get his own cannons and shield batteries down. That's one thing he could do to get a slight edge, is if he builds shield batteries under his carriers, because Talden's carriers are actually going down. But 𝙀𝙀𝘼𝙉𝘿, he doesn't have a defender's advantage just yet. He needs to get some proxy starports, and these cannons are actually doing wonders for 𝙀𝙀𝘼𝘉, keeping him ahead of Talden in the carrier count, because the cannons are assisting. And now, yeah, but the problem is that Talden's instantly building more carriers on top of his carriers. While there's also a zealot run by from Talden. There's just too many cannons. But 𝙀𝙀𝘼𝘉's his army's starting to dwindle, actually, despite the cannons. That's because of Talden's defender's advantage with having the starports really close by. And it's just a 𝙀𝙓𝙋 for 𝙀𝙓𝙋. This is like any DBZ episode where you just have two dudes shooting laser beams at each other's faces. Tug of war, exactly. It's a tug of war between whose Protoss dick is bigger. And well, Talden's got his own mothership now. 𝙀𝙀𝘼𝘉𝘉 needs to get himself his own mothership again, so they can cloak each other's shit. How to win? You just gotta be better. I don't know. Just A move harder. Whoever A moves harder wins. Remember, the winner of this goes on to the grand finals against SeOuL. I'm just kidding. That's not even close to true. But it's kind of funny. This Interceptors killing each other, and there's no end to it. You have to kill each other's carries. You cannot kill the Interceptors. And this music is pretty appropriate for this, because it's kind of like derpy. Talden is, though, starting to win this. He's out microing, and he's doing a lot of good target firing on 𝙀𝙀𝘼𝘉𝘉's carriers. 𝙀𝙀𝘼𝘉𝘉 looked like he had the opportunity to take this, but Talden seems to have pulled through. But it's not over yet. It's far from over. We have a lot of cannons to go through. 𝙀𝙀𝘉𝘉's mothership finally coming out, but it's a little bit too late, because there's no carriers or Tempest to help assist. And GG, well played. Talden takes the game. Thanks for watching. Really hope you enjoyed that video just now. If you wouldn't mind clicking that like, subscribe, and the bell notification down below, really appreciate it. Also, be sure to follow me on my Twitter and Twitch.